What's up, tech enthusiast? In today's video, we will be discussing the top cybersecurity threats and how to tackle them. If you're thinking, why should I care about cyber threats? Let me tell you a story. A global ransomware attack known as WannaCry spread like wildfire, affecting over 200,000 computers across 150 countries in just a few days. Major corporations, hospitals, and even government agencies were brought to their knees. Imagine the chaos of hospitals unable to access patient records or companies losing millions in a matter of hours. Scary, right? That's why knowing about cyber threats isn't just for IT professionals, it's crucial for all of us, whether you are casual internet users, a business owner, or a tech enthusiast. Understanding these threats and how to defend against them can save you from a world of trouble. So buckle up and we get started. In this video, let's dive into top 10 cybersecurity threats of 2024. Explore their mechanics, potential consequences, and the best strategies to tackle them. Our first major threat, phishing. In 2018, several Indian banks were targeted by a sophisticated phishing scam. Attackers sent emails that appeared to come from the Reserve Bank of India, claiming that customers needed to update their banking information due to new security policies. The emails were so convincing that many recipients believed them to be genuine and provided their personal banking details. Phishing is an online scam where attackers pretend to legitimate organizations to steal sensitive information like passwords and credit card numbers. These emails, messages, or websites often look incredibly convincing, tricking you into taking immediate actions without thinking. Here is how phishing works and how you can tackle them. Cyber criminals send emails that appear to be from reputable sources. The recipient gets an email that looks like it's from their bank, social media site, or any well-known company. The victim clicks the link or downloads the attachment, leading to a fake website or malicious software. The victim enters their sensitive information, which is then captured by the attacker. The attackers gain access to personal accounts and commit identity thefts or sell your information on the dark web. Phishing can lead to severe financial loss, identity thefts, and emotional distress. Once compromised, recovering your information can take months or even years. The challenge lies in the sophistication of these attacks, which often mimic legitimate organizations perfectly. To protect yourself from phishing attacks, always verify the sender's email address and watch for unusual language or even grammar mistakes. Avoid clicking on links in unsolicited emails. Instead, type the URL directly into the browser. Enable two-factor authentication to add security. Remember, reputable companies will never ask your sensitive information via email. By following these tips, you can better safeguard your personal information. Now let's dive into the second major threat, ransomware. In July 2023, a hospital in California was hit by a ransomware attack that encrypted patients' records and disrupted medical services. The hospital decided not to pay the ransom and instead relied on backups to restore their data. However, the recovery process took weeks, impacting patient care and hospital operations. Ransomware is a type of malicious software that encrypts your files, making them inaccessible until you pay ransom to attackers. These attacks often begin with a seemingly harmless email or download, and before you know it, your files are locked away. Here is how ransomware works and how you can tackle them. Cyber criminals distribute ransomware through phishing emails, malicious websites, and infected software downloads. The victim unknowingly downloads the ransomware by clicking a link, opening an attachment, or visiting a compromised website. Once activated, the ransomware encrypts the victim's file, making them inaccessible. The attacker displays a ransom note on the victim's screen, demanding payment in exchange of the decryption key. If the ransom is paid, there is no guarantee the attacker will provide the decryption key. The victim may lose access to their files permanently. Ransomware can cause severe disruptions, financial losses, and emotional distress. Recovering from an attack can take a long time and often involves paying large sums of money. The challenges lie in the sophisticated methods attackers use to spread ransomware, making it difficult to detect until it's too late. To protect yourself from ransomware attacks, keep your softwares and operating systems up to date. Use reputable antivirus softwares and back up your important files regularly. Be cautious of unsolicited emails and avoid clicking on links or downloading attachments from unknown sources. By following these tips, you can minimize the risk of falling victim to ransomware and protect your valuable data. Let's move to our next major threat, malware. In June 2017, a new form of malware called NotPetya wreaked havoc on companies worldwide, causing over $10 billion in total damage. Originally targeting companies in Ukraine, NotPetya spread globally within hours, affecting major multinational corporations. Malware is malicious software designed to harm your computer, steal data, or disrupt operations. It can take many forms, including viruses, worms, trojans, and spyware. Malware often spreads through infected email attachments, software downloads, or malicious websites. Here is how malware works and how to tackle them. Cyber criminals distribute malware via phishing emails, malicious websites, or infected software downloads. The victim unknowingly installs the malware by clicking on a link, opening an attachment, or downloading compromised software. Once activated, the malware executes its payload, which could involve spying on the user, stealing sensitive information, or disrupting system operations. Some malware can spread to other systems, infecting more devices on the network. The malware can cause data loss, financial theft, system damage, and privacy invasions. Malware can lead to several disruptions and financial loss. The challenge lies in the ability to hide within the legitimate software and evade detection. To tackle these malware attacks, always download software from trusted sources, keep your antivirus software up to date, and be cautious of email attachments from unknown senders. Regularly back up your important data and keep your operating systems updated. By following these tips, you can reduce the risk of malware infections and safeguard your devices. Now let's dive into the third major threat, social engineering. In March 2019, a sophisticated social engineering scam targeted the finance department of a European aerospace manufacturer, resulting in loss of 50 million euros. The attackers, impersonating the CEO and other senior executives, communicated with the finance team over a series of emails and phone calls. They convinced the team to transfer large sum of money to fraudulent accounts, causing significant financial damage to the company. Social engineering involves manipulating people into divulging confidential information or performing actions that compromise security, often by impersonating trusted individuals. Here is how social engineering works and how you can tackle them. The attacker contacts the victim posing as a legitimate entity like a company representative or a trusted individual. The attacker uses convincing language and tactics to gain the victim's trust. The victim is manipulated into providing sensitive information or performing actions that compromise security. The attackers uses the obtained information to access accounts, steal data, and carry out further attacks. The victim may suffer financial loss, identity theft, or unauthorized access to personal or corporate accounts. To protect yourself from social engineering attacks, always verify the identity of the person contacting you and never share sensitive information over the phone or email unless you're sure of the recipient's legitimacy. Be cautious of unsolicited requests for information and report suspicious interactions to your company's IT department or the relevant authority. Man-in-the-middle attack. Now let's dive into our fourth major threat, man-in-the-middle attacks. In 2016, a notable man-in-the-middle attack took place at a popular coffee shop chain in New York City. Cybercriminals set up a fake Wi-Fi hotspot with a new similar coffee shop's official network, unsuspecting customers connected to this Wi-Fi thinking it was legitimate. The attackers then intercepted the data transmitted by the customers, capturing sensitive information such as login credentials, credit card numbers, and personal emails. Man-in-the-middle attack happens when the attacker secretly intercepts and relays messages between two parties who believe they are directly communicating with each other. Here is how man-in-the-middle attacks work and how you can tackle them. The attackers step up a malicious Wi-Fi network or uses software to intercept data on a legitimate network. The attackers intercepts data transmitted between the victim and a legitimate website or services. If the data is encrypted, the attacker attempts to decrypt it to access sensitive information. The attacker captures your login credentials, personal information, or other sensitive data. The victim's account can be accessed and used without authorization, leading to financial loss or identity theft. To protect yourself from these kind of attacks, avoid using public Wi-Fi for sensitive information or use a virtual private network to encrypt your internet traffic and ensure websites you visit use HTTPS. Keep your devices and software updated to protect against vulnerabilities. Our fifth major threat, denial of service attacks. In August 2019, a major DOS attack struck Wikipedia, taking the site offline for several hours in countries across Europe and Middle East. The attackers bombarded Wikipedia servers with an overwhelming amount of traffic, making it impossible for legitimate users to access the website. DOS attacks are designed to disrupt the availability of service by flooding into the excessive internet traffic, effectively making the service unusable for its intended users. Here is how DOS attacks work and how you can tackle them. The attackers send a massive amount of traffic to the target website or network. The target's server becomes overwhelmed by the excessive traffic. The website or service becomes slow, unreliable, and completely inaccessible. Users cannot access the service, resulting in lost revenue, reputation damage, and frustrated customers. Extended downtime can lead to significant financial losses and disruption of business operations. To protect against DOS attacks, use network security solutions that can detect and mitigate such attacks, deploy firewalls and intrusion detection systems, and have a response plan in place. Cloud-based services can also help absorb and mitigate the impact of large-scale attacks. Now let's move on to our sixth major threat, SQL Injection. A large e-commerce company was hit by a massive SQL injection attack. Hackers found weak spots in the website's database security and inserted malicious SQL code into the user input fields. This breach exposed the personal data of over 10 million customers, including names, addresses, and credit card details. SQL injection is a technique where attackers exploit vulnerabilities in a website's software by inserting harmful SQL code into the input fields. This gives them unauthorized access to the database where they can steal and manipulate data. Here is how SQL injection works and how you can tackle them. The attacker identifies a vulnerable input field or a website or an application. The attacker injects malicious SQL code into the input field. The application's database executes the malicious code, allowing the attacker to view, modify, or delete data. Sensitive information such as usernames, passwords, and personal details can be stolen or altered. The attack can lead to data breaches, financial losses, and damage to the website's reputation. Now, to protect against SQL injection attacks, use parameterized queries, validate and sanitize all user inputs, and employ web application firewalls. Regularly update and patch your softwares to fix vulnerabilities. Now let's tackle our seventh major threat, zero-day exploits. In March 2021, a zero-day exploit shook the world by targeting Microsoft Exchange servers. Hackers believed to be backed by a foreign government exploited previously unknown vulnerabilities to breach email accounts and deploy malware. This wide-reaching attack impacted tens of thousands of entities globally, including government bodies, think tanks, and health research institutions. Zero-day exploits are particularly dangerous because they take advantage of software holes that even the developers aren't aware of yet. Here is how zero-day exploits work and how you can tackle them. The attacker discovers an unknown vulnerability in software. The attacker develops and exploits and takes advantages of these vulnerabilities. The exploit is deployed often through malicious emails, websites, or software downloads. The attacker's exploit gains unauthorized access to the system, stealing data or installing malware. The victim's system is compromised, leading to data breaches, financial losses, or further attacks. To protect against these attacks, keep your software and operating systems up to date. Use robust security softwares and implement intrusion detection systems. Be cautious of unsolicited emails and downloads, and regularly back up your data. Now, 8th threat, that's insider threats. In January 2020, a major US financial institution faced a severe data breach resulting from an insider threat. A disgruntled employee with access to sensitive customer information exploited this access to sell personal data, including social security numbers, account details, and personal addresses to outside parties. These breaches affected over 200,000 customers and resulted in substantial financial loss and reputational damage to the bank. Insider threats can be malicious or accidental, but both can cause significant damage to the organizations. Here is how these insider attacks work and how you can tackle them. It begins with someone inside the company who can reach sensitive data. This person uses their access wrongly to change or delete data. They do their harmful actions quietly, often without anyone noticing. It's hard to spot these threats because everything might seem normal since the person is supposed to have access. The damage can be huge, like data getting stolen, money lost, a ruined reputation, or disruptions to how the company works. To protect against insider threats, implement strict access control, monitor users' activity, and conduct regular security trainings for employees. Establish clear policies for data access and enforce consequences for violations. Now let's talk about the 9th major cyber threat, Advanced Persistent Threats or APTs. One of the biggest examples happened in 2015 when the hackers got into the US Office of Personnel Management. This wasn't just a quick hack, it was a long and hidden one. These hackers, who were probably supported by a foreign country, sneaked into OPM's network and secretly gathered personal information about 22 billion people. APTs are tricky and stick around for a long time. They are meant to go unnoticed, gathering as much information as they can. Here is how they usually work. First, the attackers choose their target and learn all they can about it. Then they find a way in, often tricking someone into giving them access to a deceptive email or a fake request. Once they are in, they set up ways to come back without being caught, like installing secret programs. They move around quietly inside the network looking for important data to steal. Finally, they take the data slowly so no one realizes until it's too late. The damage from ATPs can be huge, leading to loss of secret and important information, causing long-lasting problems for the organization. To protect against these threats, places like companies and governments need to use many security tools like firewalls and systems that notice unusual activities. They also need to check their security regularly and teach everyone how to spot tricks like fake emails. By being ready and careful, they can protect themselves from these hidden dangers. And now we come to our final major threat, that is cryptojacking. Back in 2018, Stanford University's computing network was secretly mining cryptocurrency without anyone knowing. This happened because unauthorized people managed to sneak in malware. Cryptojacking is like a sneaky bug that gets into your devices, uses it to make money by cybercriminals, all without you knowing. Here is how this tricky process happens. It begins with someone clicks on a simple looking link or downloads a file that doesn't seem harmful. But that's all it takes for the malware to get in. Once the malware is in, it hides and starts to take over. It uses your device's power to do tasks that earn cryptocurrency for the attackers. The result, your device slows down, gets hotter, and batteries run out faster. It uses up so much power and it can make your device wear out more quickly and increase your electricity bills. But don't worry, you can fight back. Make sure your device has good antivirus software that you keep updated. Regularly check for any threats. Also, be careful about what you click on. Don't open links or downloads that look strange or come from people you don't know. They could be traps set by the cryptojackers. You can also add special tools to your browsers that stop these cryptojacking scripts. Always keep an eye on how your device is running. If it starts slowing down suddenly, it might be a sign of something not right. By being aware and prepared, you can keep your devices safe from cryptojacking. Remember, your devices are yours to protect. As we wrap up our look at the cyber threats of 2024, remember that staying safe online is up to you. Stay alert, keep your security strong, and make sure your digital world stays yours.